Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku, episode 7, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while, you will have to excuse me. It is indeed episode 7, and as I mentioned, it has been a hot minute. I'm like 4 episodes behind, but I will hopefully catch up. Maybe. Hopefully. I can't be sure, but the hope is still there. Just a little sliver of hope, but something to grasp, something to clutch to. Regardless, we are here right now with episode 7, and I can see from the very first frame that we are No, I don't think we are starting where we left off. We are starting with last time on Dragon Ball Z. And what happened last time? Well, the previous episode was mostly a Modulok's backstory. It was a little bit of a fight with the Flesh Pillar, Eye Pillar, whatever you want to call it. But for the most part, it was Modulok's backstory, how he was an aspiring great mage, right? He was doing some research and experiments to become the Great Wizard, or whatever that title was. In the process, he kind of neglected his family. He very much neglected his family, actually, and their funds and everything else, which led to him never wearing the necklace that his daughter prepared for him, and that daughter eventually dying while he wasn't there. So that sucks. There is that like tiny little bit of a plot hole in that, well, couldn't he have sold some books, or couldn't he have, I don't know, gotten a loan or something like that to resurrect that daughter, because we know that it is possible, you just need to have money. Apparently not, which still seems kinda odd to me, but whatever, perhaps it was explained better in the source material, perhaps not. Who am I to say? Regardless, he went to the labyrinth, searching for time magic so that he can turn back time to the good old days and do some things differently. Wear the necklace, save his daughter, etc., etc., etc. There, his mind was wiped by the entity, I'm just gonna call it, that resided there and did possess time magic, time and space magic even, and it helped Morlock by by wiping his memory. If you don't remember that you did that to your family, if you don't remember that you ever had a daughter or ever had a wife, well, you won't be hurting that they are gone, right? I mean, it does make a modicum of sense, I'm gonna give them that, but it's a little bit of a genie wish kind of a situation. And that's how we got where we are. Modulok's original name was Krom, and that was on the necklace. The necklace got turned around, so he read it in a different order, and that's how the name Morlock was created. And he started adventuring with his memory wiped. And now, in dire straits, he didn't remember the spell to freeze the time, but Saito did, and Morlock managed to freeze the time to hopefully defeat the Flesh Pillar. The problem is that the time was frozen only for him. And Morlock, being the senile old fuck he is, completely forgot what he's supposed to do. So the time is frozen, Morlock is roaming around, and will he save the rest of the party? Will he not? He probably will, because otherwise the anime would end right here. Or maybe he won't. Maybe he won't, and he will go looking for time magic again to return back to when their party was alive. I don't know. Are we introducing some timey-wimey shenanigans? Would be, on one hand, interesting, on the other, well, timey-wimey shenanigans are kinda hard to execute properly, so We'll see. We'll see. It's kind of hard to predict what's gonna happen, to be perfectly honest with you. So how about instead of predicting what's gonna happen, we're just gonna watch it, right? You're gonna need your subs, of course. Yeah, zero that out. You're gonna need your subs to follow along. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on, and I'm also gonna need your support. Support the channel if you want monetarily. Patreon, throw links in the description below, or not. Share my content, spread the word. It's completely free, costs you nothing, and helps the channel. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching episode 7 of Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku in 3, 2, 1, go. Yep, last time on Dragon Ball Z. Guide me and me alone to a moment of solitude. Yeah, that's a dead giveaway as to what's gonna happen. And are we gonna run the opening? Yep, opening. Okay, so we are no closer than we were to figuring out how today's episode gonna go. Which is fine. You can't have the anime be too predictable, right? There's no fun in that. And I'm having some green tea with, I think, pomegranate peel, which is interesting. I stopped mentioning what kind of a tea I'm drinking. Probably because I stopped drinking only tea and I sometimes sit here with some juice and stuff like that. And we went through pretty much every single type of tea that I had in my cupboard, so I guess I'm gonna have to buy some new kinds. A lot has changed since I started this channel. Some for the better. I have a better camera now, right? Stuff like that. Some for the worse because, well, I'm not uploading as often as I would like to. It sucks that you need a job that takes your time to be able to survive, right? I would love to live purely off what I'm doing here on YouTube, but alas. Okay. And we're counting down. Will he be able to figure out what he needs to do? I love the counter, by the way. Okay, yeah, he's piecing it together. Also frozen in time. Okay, so he has it noted. That's good. Not Saito's eyes. Just... Okay. Okay. Saito has some great foresight. Okay, no time to get sappy. Attack the fucking wall of flesh. Does he remember the chant? Okay. He remembered Bergheim Krom. He remembered his name, interestingly. and remembered the chant for the fire spell. Okay, not entirely. Oh, so they were all turned into the pillar of flesh. I thought it might have been some translation error or something missing in context, but no, they actually were turned into this monster. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, he's gonna destroy the pillar of flesh. So that also kills Ninja and the fairy and the demon friends. Is that what I'm getting here? Or were they freed, or... Okay, it's crumbling. So I'm assuming our antagonists are not alive. Oh, shit! How did that happen? That's a very bad, I suppose. That's extremely badass, but what the fuck happened to his arm? Oh, okay, so he freed them somehow. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, they were freed. He spoke as if the chant... Okay, okay, gotcha. Used only half. And half of it was probably dealt to his arm. That's why it was ripped off or something. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. You have like 2 other healers on the party. They can take care of every single one of you. Sure. Okay, that's much better of an ending than I would have expected. No, she has only one person. I did not expect that. I did not expect that. uh okay. Yeah, already blushing. Pay them back. I mean, simple. No, she hasn't experienced that, but she's shrinking constantly. And there's that as well. If you don't want to accept charity, just pay me back. Simple. Honestly. Hmm. So they are actually here out of loyalty. Well, he's right over there. Okay, did Monpui's saliva help? It's probably just as squishy. Morlock. Are they gonna be a thing? Morlock and Monpui. I mean, maybe. If he remembers the chant. What the fuck are those? And whose are those? Oh. The minister and the demon king. They actually hit. But who did they hit? The demon, okay. Not a human. Okay, family. Well, that solves our problems. Okay, we are back to the comedy of early episodes. Okay. So they have something to bond over. Yeah. Right, and how many just revived? Okay, so those two. So essentially everybody who the ninja killed has already been revived. Yep. I mean, apparently. Nearly. Okay, so a very good ending. That's cool. I was honestly afraid we're gonna get into some heavy drama, but. Okay. I can live with that. That more than that. That's great, actually. Oh, does Saito know any other incantations? Yep. The mysterious entity moved to a different dimension. Just a random thought, but maybe he reincarnated as Saito. You know, there are different ways of getting isekai'd. Saito's realm? Yeah. There might be an infinite amount. Oh, I thought he's just right there. Just decided to appear back in this dimension. Okay, what's the plan? Your king? Oh, king. I thought we're getting into some kinks again. Like, age reversal and shit. Yep. The life of another being. There we go. So either he or the little fairy will need to give up their life. Or it's just a test. Okay. Interesting that lives have sizes, apparently. Dogeza. Okay, how are we gonna get out of this piece of drama? I mean, yeah. If nobody saw a crime. And there's also that, of course. Atoning for taking lives by giving up your life. Yeah, nobody gives a shit about what you think. How could you tell? Sure. Just as you, yeah. Okay, so everybody's in favor. Okay, they get sent back to the Shadow Realm. Something tells me they're gonna be back. Very silent moment. Another world. True. Kinda, he's from the country of ninjas. But not a ninja himself. Didn't mention anything about being from a different world, although Morlock mentioned that before already. Okay, how are we gonna do a switch on the whole drama to turn it into a comedy? Or into a positive note otherwise? Or are we not gonna, and it's genuinely gonna be like some serious moment of drama and tragedy as he dies in the name of his love? I guess we're never gonna know, at least until the next episode. That was a curious episode. Pretty much entirely talking. Not really much action. But I guess it resolved a lot of issues. It's kind of hard for me to talk about this episode, to be perfectly honest with you. Because there isn't all that much to talk about. Besides, of course, the way the whole drama situation was resolved. That, of course, deserves a mention. But besides that, it was just talking. I mean, we'll see. After the ending is over, we're, of course, gonna go through the episode again. And maybe I'm gonna have something more to talk about. Who knows? I probably will. I always say that there isn't much to talk about in this episode, and then I talk for like an hour. That always happens. Okay, nothing after credits. I was quietly hoping for that, to be perfectly honest with you, but alas, you can't always get the things you were hoping for, but what you can get is this episode again. And that's what we're gonna do right now. Watch it again. Last time on Dragon Ball Z. Yep. OP. Does the ninja appear in the OP? I wonder. Not really. Yeah, countdown. Thankfully, Saito had the foresight to note down what he needs to do on Morlock's hand. Void rank first class tier 10. He remembers his rank. He remembered his name, Bergaim Krom, his actual real name that he was supposed to forget. He remembered a whole incantation for the magical power raising spell. And he remembered the full chant for a Fire Blast spell. So, were his memories jogged a little by the timey-wimey spell, maybe, or something happened that he isn't as senile as he usually is? Maybe. Fiery Heat Blast is a standard spell, but powered up by that other spell, it's much more powerful. It will surpass the 7 Thunder Gods. I'm used to using the Fiery Heat Blast, so there is no chance that I will fail, so a spell that he commonly uses. Enemies' memories, so they actually genuinely were turned into that flesh pillar. I honestly didn't think that that was what happened. I thought they just summoned it and that's that, and they are somewhere behind it, or perhaps run away or something. But no, they were just merged into that pillar. I guess it would benefit the story would benefit from actually showing them becoming parts of that pillar, right? At least like all of them standing in the middle of the summoning circle, and then out of that summoning circle the pillar of flesh rises and they are no longer there, so it kind of consumes them, right? I'm not talking about any detailed scenes of flesh growing around them and trapping them inside, but something, because it was unclear. They're doing this for love and loyalty. Yeah, exactly. We can't vaporize the evil spirit, because it will vaporize all of them as well. But you can apparently limit the output of the spell and just kill the evil spirit and leave whoever it consumed alive. Interesting. I thought that they actually became part of this pillar of flesh, but apparently they were just trapped somewhere inside. Time starts again. Pillar crumbles. And such a badass moment for Morlock. Such incredibly badass moment. It's great. I love his pose. I love the flowing cape, flowing beard. It looks amazing. And he's kinda ripped. When you look at those arms that are usually hidden below that cape, he is kinda ripped. Not quite a muscle wizard, but kinda ripped. And yeah, mine can wait. Reattach her wings. This is the moment that I breathed a sigh of relief internally. You might have not heard it, but I really was relieved that this is where we're going. We aren't going for drama where people die, where Morlock is given a choice between killing innocent people or letting innocent people die, right? Because that's a huge choice, impossible to make, especially after he learned their memories. Do I just wipe them out? And for a moment, I thought it's gonna be kind of a moment where Morlock decides that, you know what, I'm bearing so many sins already. What's one more? If I'm to be a sinner, so be it, but at least I will help my friends. And he proceeds to kill the wall of flesh and kill all the people who were inside it. I thought that it's gonna go in that direction, very heavy drama, heavy tragedy. But no. They are saved. The fairy is saved. The others are also saved. Summoning the evil spirit used the magic stored in her wings, not the wings themselves, so the wings can be reattached. That's also very convenient. I saw their memories. Once I did, I couldn't kill them anymore. Yep. Used half the magic. And of course the blowback tore his arm off. Dealing with the enemy, and of course he's back to his old self of being a perverted old geezer, whatever. When you use joining magic, use your own bodily fluids as a catalyst, is that right? She does. I mean, she claims she does. She probably doesn't need her bodily fluids. She just wants to lick her elven girlfriend, and it's just an excuse to do that. Where is that moment? Where is it? I did not expect this. Not in my life would I have expected this. I never took a Monpui for a character who would just be this. How should I say it? This like a prankster kind of a character, right? I always thought of him as being very serious and angry and kind of like not rejected, but like self-rejected from society, kind of like an incel archetype. But apparently he can be a prankster as well. Or he genuinely wanted to lick Morlock. I mean, what do I know? Thank you, and of course Giver already blushes. Not from someone who's getting along so happily with humans. How can you get along with humans? Well, fuck, you're getting along with humans. That's how you can get along with them. You know how to do that already. You just need to find the right human. Simple as. Yeah, you and a human are getting along just fine. So wings were reattached. We're sending the demons back. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Morlock is the one who can control time. Allow me to feel your breasts, right? To make sure that there is, the nerves connected properly. To make sure that I have feeling in my arm. Let me squeeze your breasts, and Monpui just through his nose. Interesting that they actually acknowledge that his nose is fucking massive, because very often characters in manga and anime have some ridiculous proportions, but it's never actually acknowledged, right? Like a character might look absolutely nothing like a human, but nobody would acknowledge it because it's just some sort of a stylistic choice to give that character, I don't know, extremely long arms and I don't know, flat ears and a bulging lower lip or whatever, and nobody acknowledges it. They just look like a parody of a human, and it's just taken at face value as if they were a regular looking human. I like that they acknowledge that Monpui's nose is massive and very squishy and squeezable. The name of Krom Voidrang, first class magician. Swords. I did not expect that, honestly. I expected that they will be somehow convinced to not do that with a little bit of talking. Then, when that blood splattered, I knew that it's not going to be the ninja because it wouldn't have that much impact. I thought it's gonna be the Dark Fairy, but no, it's one of the demons, which has a fair bit of impact, of course. Demo Knight Captain. Right, and I was wondering how are they gonna go about it? Are we getting again into the drama? Did we get a little moment of respite? And then we're getting back into the drama, and the demon lord and the minister are trying to kill the ninja and his lackeys now. And that's the source of drama that we're gonna have to slog through. But no, apparently it's family. Uncle Dorg, Talek San Telefon. It's a little bit of a family reunion. And back to comedy, and the tension is completely dissipated now. We're back to some bickering, to some fun, to some joking. We're back to early episodes. And yeah, if those two were to forgive him, he would not be hanged. Perfect. I'm willing to forgive him. And yeah, of course, there isn't magic that can just rewind time locally. You need to either rewind the time for all of the world, for all of the existence, all of the universe, or not at all, because time isn't localized. That's actually something very interesting that I don't see many media in general acknowledge and deal with. That time isn't localized. You can't just rewind a thing back in time. I mean, what do I know about time travel, right? It's not an actual thing. I mean, it is in theory a thing, but no like practical examples of that, so who the fuck knows how it works. But usually time travel can be localized somehow, right? Like rewinding your enemy to back where they were, or rewinding an arm with some sort of a wound back in time to when it wasn't wounded, or things like that. And in this series, they acknowledge that time isn't local. Time flows globally to the entirety of the universe, so you either rewind all of it or nothing at all. Interesting limitation. Very interesting limitation. You can't just reverse one section of time. Yeah. You can stop time temporarily, but I'm assuming as he stops time, the time stops for the entirety of the universe. Because that could lead to some interesting paradoxes, right? If you stop time locally, what happens in that area? Do you just age really fast when you're inside of it? Like, if you were to cast the time stop spell that Morlock did, and it was localized to just a bubble, what do people on the outside see? Do they see you moving super fast? Do they just not see that bubble? Or, right? What happens? So it's much easier to think of timey-wimey shenanigans in global terms. It either stops globally, except for the caster, or doesn't stop at all. It either gets rewinded completely globally, or it doesn't get rewinded at all. Simple. And yeah, that's actually a good question. Have your memories returned after all? Because it kinda seems like they did. Which is odd. Was using the time magic a catalyst that allowed his memories to return? Was perhaps the memories that he got from Ninja's party, from the Wall of Flesh, that somehow stirred up his memories, right? Kind of like his memories were connected to those memories, and that allowed him to like process all of his memories on an external brain, so to speak, and that's what unlocked them. Or did he not regain his memories, or maybe just partially? I don't know. It's not really addressed. If there were anyone who could do it, it would be that guy. Mage more advanced and mysterious than I. Yep, the one who summoned it all. And I wonder, timey-wimey super mage is, I think, somehow involved, somehow connected to Saitou. Timey-wimey super mage is somehow connected to Saitou. We'll see. We shall see. And yeah, if we find him, not gonna be easy, of course, because he went to a different world. And there's an infinite amount of worlds, so tracking him, not easy. If it was like Gate kind of a situation where there's like two worlds, then he's either in this world or in another one. Or if it was like in Norse mythology that there's a limited amount of worlds, limited amount of realms, so searching through like 7 or 9 or however many of them, somewhat feasible, but there's an infinite amount, so you can't find him. Uncle's Eye, the Magician, and apparently rejuvenation magic can be used. Instead of turning back time, we can just turn back the aging. That's a solution, isn't it? And it's much simpler, honestly. Much, much simpler. To the degree where I wouldn't be surprised, genuinely, I wouldn't be surprised if in 20 years, if humanity still hasn't perished in a nuclear war or something like that, we might actually have a method of stopping, slowing down, or perhaps even reversing aging. I have very little doubt. Of course, initially it will only be available to the super rich, as everything, but eventually perhaps even I and you could buy a age reversing pill or shot or whatever form it would take. Because when you think about it, aging is a set of processes that, if they can take place, they can also be reversed to a degree, right? Why does the skin start sagging and wrinkles start appearing, right? Collagen. There isn't enough collagen in the skin and some other things. So technically, if you were to stimulate your body to produce more collagen, you could get a young skin again, right? Nothing's stopping you from doing that. All of the damage to internal organs, it could technically be reversed, or organs could be replaced with in vitro copies that were just 3D printed somewhere organically or grown in a vat. We can do that, almost. We can't grow every organ, but some of them we can actually grow. We can 3D print skin. We can grow like ears. We can do that, right? And then you have stem cells. What people generally start aging when the stem cell activity ceases at the age of something. So if we were to reintroduce stem cells, they would start repairing the damaged things in our bodies. Another reason why people age, what's it called? In the DNA string, there is a little bit at the end that I forgot what's it called. But generally, the idea is that if you have a string of DNA, right, and it gets copied, sometimes the tip of it just gets ripped off. It just doesn't get copied. It's an imperfect process, right? So the bits of DNA at both ends of the DNA chain are actually just garbage data that doesn't get used. It's just, protection. When you cut something out of paper, right, you usually cut with some margin and then you precisely trim that margin. So our DNA also has that margin, so that if your knife or the copying process goes a little bit, off to the side, it doesn't damage the actual DNA. Telomeres. Yeah, those little bits are called telomeres. And yeah, telomeres. Problem is, they don't get built back up. They get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter until there are no telomeres left. And when there are no telomeres, and the cell still duplicates, still copies the DNA, it might just so happen that the process of copying removes a little bit of actually useful information, actually useful data, that perhaps is responsible for your liver working properly, right? Or is responsible for the production of collagen in your skin, or is responsible for the production of pigment in your hair follicles, right? So technically, if we could build the telomeres back up, we could just prolong our lives near indefinitely, adding to that all the other methods I mentioned before. How do we modify the DNA? Viruses. Simple as. Viruses are great because they just carry the DNA, and they have mechanisms of getting inside of human cells and replacing the DNA of that cell with the RNA of the virus, so that the cell now produces more copies of that RNA and more copies of that virus. So we could have viruses with our own DNA extended with some telomeres, inject that right into my veins, and my DNA gets replaced with fresh one with fresh telomeres at the end, and my life gets prolonged by another 70 years. That was a rant. That was an aside. That was okay. Okay, I said my piece. Let's go back to the anime. Sorry for that, but I'm like super passionate about transhumanism and all that kind of stuff, and it's something that just fascinates me. How we can just make our DNA a little longer and we can live a little longer, and wow, so simple. Why hasn't anybody tried that yet? They tried probably on some animals, but whatever. Let's continue. Rejuvenation magic. Though it's actually my key, I really thought he's gonna say, yeah, yes, though it's actually my kink. It's not the magic, it's not that it's magic, it's my kink, or something. Age regression is his kink. Or maybe age progression, I mean, I don't judge. But no, key as in king, friend. So king is god tier, he can rejuvenate people. Yeah, I've heard that only gods can use it. Wouldn't surprise me if he was a deity. Or maybe just achieved a deity while alive. He just, the king was so fucking good at just doing what he's doing that gods just came down and said, hey, yo, you want to join us up there in the pantheon? And the king just said, no, not really. I mean, I have some good dinner to look forward to today, and I haven't finished my book. You guys go there. I'm gonna stay, and he just stayed on Earth, achieving the status of a god, but no, not really becoming a god. Wouldn't surprise me. He's a great character. I really do enjoy him. That means if they cast that for us, then the Lady Witch can be saved. Indeed. But that magic requires something specific. The life of someone connected to the one to be rejuvenated. Now, this seems a pretty cut and dry case. There isn't really anything you can read between the lines here, right? Casting that magic requires someone to give up their life. I wonder how they're gonna get out of it, or if they're gonna get out of it. Although we turned such a heavy and tragic and dramatic situation as the fight with the wall of flesh, and the fairy sacrificing herself, and everybody turning into that wall of flesh, and all that jazz, we turned so much drama into something positive and kind of happy. So it wouldn't surprise me if we turned this also around into something positive, something happy. How could we do that? the life of someone connected to the one to be rejuvenated? Well, the simplest way, of course, is that it's just a test. How much do you want that magic to be cast? Are you prepared to give up your life? If you are, then the king is just gonna cast it and say, "Yeah, I can just cast it. Your life isn't needed. We just wanted to see if you're determined enough, if you actually care about her." Sorry, you are, right? You are prepared to do anything for her, so sure, I'm gonna cast that. You can become my like, I don't know, my court assassin or something in exchange, some servitude or something. That's one way to go about that. Another way is to reinterpret life, the life of someone connected to the one being rejuvenated. It doesn't necessarily mean that he will die. It could mean that he will just be in eternal servitude to the king for life. Right? He will be king's court assassin for life. There. The cost was his life in that way. Sure. And any other ways? I don't know. Maybe like giving up just some years of your life. If you want to turn someone back 10 years back, you need to give up 10 years of your life or something like that. It's not that you completely die. We'll see. Or we could actually go heavy into drama and he's actually going to give up his life. Although, when you think about it, nobody besides Morlock's daughter actually died in this series yet. As we hear even in the adventures that the ninja attacked were resurrected. They didn't die. I mean, they died, but they aren't dead. So, wouldn't surprise me if he actually survived, is what I was trying to say. But yeah, that's an interesting thing to note. We don't really have precedent for people dying, so perhaps Morlock's daughter is alive. Morlock's daughter is alive. What if she resurrected? And what if she died and got isekai'd to Saitou's world and she's Saitou? Saitou is her. That would be an interesting twist. There has to be some other way. Please use my life. Hisurugi and Primas. I'm gonna have to remember those. And we don't know if such a little life as yours will be effective. That's interesting, that the size of a creature determines the size of their life, apparently. And yeah, if I'm to be hanged anyway, I might as well give up my life for my love, right? You are a friend of Tachlefon. Okay, and this is cool. If everyone here would pretend they never saw his crimes, then those crimes never happened. And of course everybody agrees, except the Damas hero, but... can't believe I say that, but Monpui to the rescue. Shuts him up. You have some connection to King Madaraka of this kingdom. And yeah, everybody is in favor. He wanted to be of use to someone. Indeed. Something to bond over with Saitou, for sure. Sending back the demons. With added strength from Morlock. Demons returned home. And yeah, it's an understandable sentiment, right? I took so many lives, I probably would be hanged anyway, so might as well make my life useful to someone, right? This reasoning makes perfect sense. Question to Saitou. Before question to Saitou, very a lot of silence, very, very profound silence. It really bumps up the dramaticism of this scene, which makes me believe that he actually might die, although I'm still not convinced. You seem to be the weakest one, and yet you moved as though you were at the heart of the team. Are a ninja from a country I haven't heard of? No, I'm just a handyman. Didn't elaborate about his world, although Morlock mentioned that Saito did come from another world, so I don't know if that bears repeating. And so the assassin who had been needed in the world of darkness. I hope they meet again. Honestly, I hope the assassin just joins our team. Like, seriously. The assassin and Primas. Primas could use a couple more friends. For sure. Stood before the handyman who had tried very hard to be needed in another world. And vanished. The end of this episode, of course. What will happen in the next one? Interesting. Yeah, what will happen in the next episode? The way I see it, we can go about it two ways. We can either continue the story, right? The next episode has Kisaragi, ninja, has the ninja in the court and getting help from the king, and we see how that happens. And perhaps it's also in the form of vignettes. So we have a little bit of ninja adventures and a little bit of Saito's adventures. A little bit of here, a little bit of there, a little bit of here, a little bit of there. And perhaps it ends with a vignette where the ninja finds Saito and his team and joins them, or just meets them at a tavern and buys them a round of beer or something like that. That would be one way. Another way would be continuing in the full format, and just have an episode dedicated to the ninja, perhaps, or something like that. Another way I see it going, potentially, is for an episode we just go back to vignettes from Saito's life and from their adventures and misadventures. And then the next episode, episode 9, brings us back to full-scale, full-form episodes with the ninja or without him. That all remains to be seen, of course. Although I... See, this anime makes me very... how should I say it? Makes me question things. Very much makes me question things. What other series was there that made me question things this much? There was one. There was one that made me question everything. Is it actually going to be a happy moment? Or is it just preparation for drama? Right? Are we introducing this new character so that they can be a new character and they can be with us and just be a new character? Or are we introducing them just to kill them gruesomely? You know, it gives me this lack of certainty. So far, the track record is that nothing bad actually happens. Like, sure, bad events happen, but ultimately it's resolved in a good way. Main characters don't die, secondary characters don't die. It's all just a bit of a bait and switch. But then you have Morlock's daughter, who does set a precedent for people dying. So it will be hard to tell from now on, especially after, depending what they do with the ninja, whether he makes it out alive or not. That's going to be the big breakthrough point for me, I feel, when it comes to the reception of future episodes, future events. Whether I will be watching everything calmly and safely, knowing that nothing bad is going to happen. It's just some misadventures, it's just some temporary drama, but ultimately the resolution will be positive. Or will I be watching everything doubting what I see? Right? La Fan Pan gets injured. Is she going to get better? I don't know. I would like to say that she will, but there is also a precedent set for that not happening. So that will introduce some drama, maybe not drama, that will introduce tension. And I think in general, this series does really well when it comes to introducing tension, having tension. Sometimes anime and manga kind of fall into that rut of, oh, a new character, where you eventually, not just anime and manga. Sorry, I'm getting tangled up. I have too many thoughts for my mouth to express them all. I have this problem with Arknights. I refer to Arknights a lot. Deal with it. I really like the story, although I have some problems with it. And one of the problems I have with Arknights is that it's predictable to a degree. Oh, you introduce a sympathetic character or dramatic character or tragic character who isn't an operator, well, they will probably die and they will probably suffer horribly. Oh, there is two people who are bestest of friends. Oh, well, one of them will probably watch the other die. Oh, there is a pregnant mother. Well, there will certainly be a loss of pregnancy there or something like that. Oh, that person has high hopes. Well, they're as good as dead. Right? It gets predictable to an insane degree where it doesn't even have that impact on me anymore. Oh, well, the person who I thought is gonna die died. Whoop de fucking do. People die all the time in Arknights. And then, of course, on the other hand, you can introduce something like that, but in the opposite way. Whenever something bad is happening, you know that it will turn out good, right? Someone was kidnapped, well, they will be found. Someone looks like their chest was pierced with a sword, well, they will certainly survive because nothing bad ever happens in this series. This series strikes that good balance of not being predictable. Like I can predict reasonably well that our main characters will probably survive, but there is still tension, there is still drama because I don't know for how long will they be, for how long will the ninja story continue. It's already been like a few episodes. Will it turn out that he's alive in the next episode, or will we wait until the very next? Or will he die in the process actually, but will go back from the dead sometime in the future? Perhaps as a demon with his friends, he will return to this world, or, there is that tension because there is that unknown factor to that. I don't know what's going to happen. Because there's precedent for this and precedent for that, and none of that precedent is strong. So I am at the edge of my seat and I'm trying to think of what's going to happen, but I just can't predict that. I can't hope to predict that. And I kinda love it. I kinda love it. I do like the unpredictability of it. That despite having seen 7 episodes already, I cannot be sure what happens to the ninja. You'd think there would be some scheme already said, and there has been, right? Nothing bad ever happens. That's how we can sum it up. And yet there is that seed of doubt. Will actually nothing bad happen to the ninja, or will something bad actually happen to him? I cannot know that. That's cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it here. I've already been talking for a long while, but maybe you guys, maybe you have something more to add. And if you do, say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers, please. I know I'm behind. I hope to catch up. No spoilers. I know there's also source material, so no spoilers from the manga either, please. If you do want to talk spoilers, of course, there is my Discord server. The link is here and the invite is also in the description. You can join it. There's a Saito-san channel where you can discuss spoilers, and I'm not gonna see them. So head over there if you want to do that, and there are also plenty of other channels where you can talk about other things. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Benriya Saitou-san Isekai ni Iku, but also Ooyukiumi no Kaina, Symphogear XV, and others that will be coming in the future. I also stream sometimes, so if you want to be notified about when I go live, you might want to click the bell icon to get that notification on YouTube, or you might want to join the Discord to get a notification there. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or Throne, links in the description below. On Patreon for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear XV, other seasons of Symphogear, Madoka, Magica, and other non-seasonals that will be coming in the future. And for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And on Throne, you can pitch in directly towards my purchase of better software, better gear, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers. And outro. And here's the list of my beautiful patrons. You can be one of them, and you don't need to take back time to do that.